Okay, so I've been meaning to make this video for a long time. I've redesigned Pokemon in the past, but that's never been a central focus of a video. Today that all changes. This video will be broken down into two parts, 4 Pokemon each. Part 2 won't come immediately because I have other things I want to work on, and I have school. School is starting next week at the time I'm recording this. These first few have something in common, and the second few do too. In part 1, these Pokemon are Pokemons that desperately needed redesigns. Like, I don't know how I was satisfied when I walked away with these. Well, I actually do know. When I first started making digital art, I realized that art is a career I want to pursue and a career I want to chase. I just said the same thing but with different words. I was kind of getting a handle on how to use Procreate and the digital art softwares I use. And the Mohali region was kind of my foundation for me to keep learning. So, to pay back the Mohali region for all it's done, I'm gonna make some redesigns. And now that I'm checking, I realize I technically redesigned 5 Pokemon. So let's get into the video. Okay, so this was the last design I did, and it was fresh from the new Pokemon Legends Arceus trailer, which is why Hisuian Braviary is one of the reference images. That Pokemon just really put me in the mood to design more Pokemon. Whenever Pokemon release more Pokemon, I'm going to be saying Pokemon a lot in this episode. I just get really into wanting to make Pokemon. I don't know, because something about art is that when you see other art, it makes you want to just draw. That might just be my thing, but I know a lot of other people who can relate to that. The design inspiration for Airuntery was that it was a kickboxing bird. It was based on the secretary bird, which is a part of the Airy in Airuntery. My problem with this design is it's just a cartoon secretary bird. I just slapped on some weird colors, made it cartoony, and called it a Pokemon. Some of these Pokemon I feel like it's the same deal, but I feel like there's more concept behind them. The problem I had with these Pokemon is that the animals weren't the problem and my art wasn't the problem. It was that I didn't have a concept. I had a jumping off point, but I didn't have more of like a concept. And I settled on the folding wings look because it looks like a kimono, which is actually what inspired me to make a female version of this Pokemon, which I'm going to draw alongside this male version. The only real difference is the mustache feathers and the bottom feathers. The colors. So the reason this is up first is because I feel like it's the weakest out of the 3 designs. It's not as different and as the other design, and I think that's fine. It's just the concept was really holding me back. I needed more to go off of than just a kickboxing bird. Yeah, most of the starting birds are just cartoon birds, but there's more to it than that. They're big birds with more. Okay, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but here is Airuntery. Now there's 2 things I wanted to do with this redesign. First, make a pre-evolution, which is what I'm drawing right now, because I always felt like Bludma is one of those Pokemon that should have a pre-evolution. It's like Absol. I was gonna be like like Absol, where it should have a pre-evolution, so you can find it earlier, so you can get the Pokemon, but it just doesn't. But I decided that's just stupid, because baby cheetahs actually have an interesting story. The top part of their fur looks like honey badgers, and a lot of predators are afraid of honey badgers because they are very aggressive animals, and that's why I decided to make the top of its head look like grass. That's my fire start, my grass starter. Should I retake that? I probably won't. I want to get into the design notes for Bludma later because I want to focus on its pre-evolution, Arceater. I decided to make it based off of partially an RC car. Alright. Like it has that tail on its end. It's like the antennae for our C cars. I don't know. I don't not 100. Wait, now I remember. They have those so they can connect to the controller because in olden times, in RC cars, you just had to connect to the controller via antennae, so it can connect wireless instead of being connected to a wire. So if it drove off too far, you couldn't have it anymore. Anyway, here is our seeder because I'm running out of stuff to say. Bludma. Bludma. How you just look like a cartoon cheetah. Oh. This is my second least favorite design I've made in the Mojave region. And for good reason. Look at it. Look at it. It is literally just... I could look up a Pokemon cheetah because no one's ever made because Pokemon hasn't made a Pokemon cheetah for some reason. And I can find 10 Pokemon that look exactly like this. It wasn't unique enough. And it wasn't that great either. Now that I'm a better artist than I once was, and I have better use of the skills on Procreate, I wanted to take another crack at this design. I was kind of happy with how the eye turned out. That's the one thing I'm happy about. The only reason I remember when I made this Pokemon is because I made it shortly after my birthday. And I wanted to spend more time designing Pokemon than I normally do. I usually take like 30 minutes to design Pokemon, and then the rest of the time I use just refining. And yeah, that was it. In this design, I realized I liked how it just did that accelerate from Ben 10 thing and Shadow the Hedgehog thing, where it just had that roller skate feature. In this case, it hovers on gold balls and it uses its electricity for I just realized what I said 5 seconds ago, and I'm gonna move on. And it uses its electric powers to make it go fast on the golden ball things on the top, on their feet. It's the Gold Rush Pokemon because it spends all of its time looking for gold. So it can always replace the skates on its feet. The toughest thing I had to deal with this Pokemon is the color palette, as you'll see in a minute. I just couldn't figure out a proper palette. Like, I tried its original colors, it was awful. Then I turned it into Cheeto, the Cheeto mascot, and I ended up picking this color scheme because I like Cheetor's dark form in Transformers Beast Wars. I used to watch that series as a kid and I loved it. It had horrible 3D animation, but it was a pretty good show. I didn't watch its sequel though. If I can find it, I will watch it maybe. Here's Bludma 2.0. A whole year ago, I started the Mojave region, and I was pretty much going in the same order that Subjectively from the Subjectively channel was going in, and I just love their content, and I just immediately fell in love with the Maza region. So I started going in their order, following their steps, and taking inspiration from their Pokemon. So I thought I had to go in their order, drawing the pre-evolution, then the evolution, and then just more Pokemon. But then I realized I didn't need to do that, and I could do other stuff. So I drew the evolution before this, and then I drew the other form after this. And that greatly helped the design at all, because it didn't limit me. Well, this kind of limited my design. I wasn't originally going to change High Camity, But then I changed the evolution so much that I just needed it. It didn't look, the Pokemon didn't look related at all, and it's a little spoiler in the corner. And it's my new favorite Pokemon. But this, well, High Camity isn't. The evolution, its evolution Kishifta it's my new favorite Pokemon. And I started using the more of an inking pencil than just a regular pencil for this design, because there's a lot of pencils. There's sketching, there's inking and a whole bunch of other stuff. I usually use my custom only ones, and my thought process without this design was going for like a classic school bully. Even more so in Pokemon, and where in Japan skull imagery is strictly forbidden. So we have the next best thing, Gourgeist, a Gourgeist T-shirt. I was having trouble with this Pokemon, with what to do with this Pokemon after the mohawk and the face. So I just slapped on a Gourgeist T-shirt, and now we have a Pokemon. Here is Hycamity 2.0. Oh my gosh, I love this thing, but it took so long to design. This is the longest time I've ever spent designing a Pokemon. 2 whole hours. I usually allow myself 30 minutes maximum. I said that in previous episodes, but I said I'm not coming out until I'm fully satisfied with the design. Not like, oh, this is good enough. Not, oh, yeah, this looks cool. But I was not until I was fully satisfied, and that completely paid off. This was the first design I did. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. Bludma was the first design I did, and it was just so amazing. What I did throughout this design was I listened to villain songs and just scary songs in general while I was designing this Pokemon. Sometimes I would watch TV, sometimes I listen to music while I'm drawing, and that actually helps my productivity, because when I'm listening to music, I'm not focusing energy, I'm not focusing on the lack of energy I have, and sometimes it just influences my mood, and which influences the mood of the art I'm drawing. And you can see I was listening to some pretty scary songs because this was horrifying, because its first designs were horrifying. And I eventually settled on a design that was a middle ground of each of these. I considered going for the second to last design, but I felt I said I wasn't coming out until I was 100% satisfied with the drawing, and I was not 100% satisfied with the second to last drawing. I looked up some. I looked up some hyena Pokemon on Google, and just hyena monsters in general, and that really helped influence the art, because I saw this one drawing. If I find it, I'll pull it. If I find it, I'll pull it up. This hyena, where it didn't look like any hyena drawing I've ever seen. No hyena goblin, no hyena. That just looked like that just looked like an anthropomorphic hyena. But an actual unique hyena Pokemon. I looked up what a hyena actually is, but it turns out a hyena isn't a dog. I thought it was just some kind of dog, yeah, but it's not. It turns out it's just in its own family, like a fox or a red panda. Yeah. What I was going for was a scary clown. The theme I went on was a scary clown like it, but it could turn in. But for the OG people who used to watch this channel, you know it has a wondrous form. So my idea was it has a scary form and it has a normal form where it looks like a normal clown that isn't scary at all. It is kind of scary for people who just don't like clowns, But if you don't, but if you don't think clowns are that scary and haven't seen it at all, then yeah, then the Wondrous Form's for you. This is my new favorite Pokemon. My last favorite Pokemon was Dog, which was the counterpart to this, because I made the Beast type and this Pokemon. What this was originally based off of was the Kishifta. It was a man who disguised himself as a normal person and wore a hat over his head. And when he took the hat off, it was... Okay, that's my dog. When he took the hat off, it was a hyena's head. The man would pretend to be a normal human, and when he gained your trust, he would reveal his head to be a hyena's head. Pretty dark stuff, but Mega Salaman slices people in half. So here we are. This is the second to last drawing of the video. We're almost there, guys. See you in a minute. Now I knew what I was going to do when I made this form. I was just going to make this form a cleaner version of the other form, and just make the colors a little more bright and more colorful and friendlier. And I was also doing a more friendly pose, because the other pose was just it being standing there being menacing, like, bruh, you really gonna try me? You gonna try me today? That's dumb. Yeah, I also low-key took inspiration from cartoon. It's like Spinel from Steven Universe when I made the original form, and I also kind of thought of this form. This form kind of looked, the colors I picked, they were the. I feel like I could have done better, but it still looks cool. I think it does.